Hey everyone, it's your boy Modesty bringing you another video, and in this video we continue with my series on my predictions on the 2018-2019 NBA season, and we're going to be talking about the Eastern Conference in this video. I've already done a video on the Western Conference yesterday, so if you haven't seen that video yet, please check the link in the description. Now, we're going to be starting off with the Eastern Conference. Now, with the Eastern Conference, I do think it's going to be a bit interesting. I think you're going to have kind of a three-cell kind of split. You're going to have three teams battling it out for that 1, 2, and 3 spot. I think you're going to have three teams battling out for that 4, 5, and 6 spot. And I think you're going to have another three teams battling out for those last two playoff spots. Now, we're going to start off, obviously, with the top three teams. And I think the number one team to finish off this season will be the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors will be that top team in the Eastern Conference. Now, fact of the matter is, I'm still disappointed that the Raptors traded DeRozan. I don't think they should have. I don't like the way they did it. And fact of the matter is, that still hurts. But watching this team in the preseason and seeing what this team can potentially be, it's become very apparent that this team might be a lot better than it was last year. Fact is, Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green provide another element for this team. Players that can play multiple positions on the defensive end and help this team a lot offensively as well. So I can't deny that. And I believe with the growth of a lot of these players, especially when you're looking at Pascal Siakam and Fred VanVleet, I think this team, this core, is fairly strong, and I think it's going to continue. And I think the Raptors take that next step and potentially become a 60-win team this year. I do think they have that potential, and don't be surprised if the Raptors finish as, say, the second best team in the entire NBA this season. I do think the potential is there. Just looking at this roster, looking at what it can potentially do, and one player that I'm really like seeing this year is Jonas. Jonas has been looking very good, and I think Nick Nurse might be able to get the best out of him this year. The next two teams are going to be the Philadelphia 76ers finishing second and the Boston Celtics. Starting off with the 76ers, I think the 76ers have growth here. I think, they're not going to have a cap on Embiid. Ben Simmons looks great, and they have a healthy Markelle Fultz, and it looks like he's also going to be doing quite great as well. I think this team takes that next step, and, this team looks scary to me, the Philadelphia 76ers, and I think this team has can improve a lot this year in the Eastern Conference. The Boston Celtics, I think they finished as a third seed. Again, they have a fabulous core, but I think, incorporating Gordon Hayward back into this offense is going to take some time. They will get it, but I think, at the beginning of the season, they're going to be a bit hurt there, but they'll pick it back up late in the season. But due to that slow start, I think they end up as the third seed in the Eastern Conference. But I think the Toronto Raptors, Philly, and the Celtics, they're going to be battling it out. So either one of these teams can finish first, second, or third. But I do believe it's going to be Toronto, then Philly, then the Boston Celtics in that first cell of teams that will be battling it out. After that, let's go on to that second cell. The next team, and that will be finishing fourth overall, will be the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Bucks are going to be taking that next step, mainly in thanks of your boy Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's looking quite great, and it looks like he's hyped, he's fired up, and you can tell that he's definitely been working on his game. And I'm expecting some great things. I don't think the Milwaukee Bucks are there in terms of that next echelon or being in that top three category of teams, but I do think they're closing in on there. But I do think they ultimately finish off as the fourth seed. The next team on this list is the Indiana Pacers. Last year, a lot of people had their doubts with where this team was going to finish, but they proved a lot of people wrong last year, and I think they're going to do it again this year. They're going to finish fifth overall. They're going to be playing hard, and I think they got a chip on their shoulder to prove that they are still a top-tier team, and I think that's where they finish off as the fifth seed in the Eastern Conference. Next is Washington. Now, Washington I always find very weird. I always want to put them a bit higher, but I just don't believe in them. The talent's there. You got John Wall, you got Bradley Beal, Kelly Oubre looks great, Otto Porter. These are players that definitely have talent, but I don't know. It just hasn't come together, and I don't think they get it together this year. I do think they make the playoffs, but I don't think they make anywhere past the 6th seed. Next, you got the last 3 teams that I believe will be battling off for that 7th and 8th seed. Next will be Miami. I think they're a solid team. Yes, they lost the big 3, but they've proven that, the talent that they have, they've been growing, and I think they're going to be solid again this year. So expect them to finish as the 7th seed. Next, I think will be Detroit. I think with the addition of Casey as their head coach, I think they're going to get a lot out of Andre Drummond, especially Andre Drummond, because I think Casey now has the center that he's wanted. I think he's going to be able to get a lot out of Drummond. And, you're going to see some stuff out of Blake Griffin as well. So I think it's going to be very interesting to see what happens there. So I do think this team makes the playoffs, but just squeaks in there. And next will be Charlotte. Charlotte is just that team that I think just goes on that wave. They didn't make the playoffs last year, but I think this year they'll make it. And they're kind of that team. They're not in, they're in, and then they're not in. They kind of do that wave kind of thing. So I think this year they kind of battle out. I think this year they kind of streak with not making it in. I think they just don't make it, but they will battle. They'll be in the conversation up until the end. That's ultimately what I believe. Anyways, that is what I believe the Eastern Conference will be like. So again, to recap, we got the Toronto Raptors finishing first overall, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, the Indiana Pacers, the Washington Wizards, the Miami Heat, and the Detroit Pistons. And just missing out will be the Charlotte Hornets. So anyways, folks, please let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe to get more videos. Anyways, we got the new setup, so, new videos coming out. So anyways, folks, to more Modern Speed, please let me know what you think. I'm signing off, folks. Later, everyone.